All right, all right. I just got gas. I just got breakfast, which consisted of a venison stick and a Celsius. We're about an hour away from our destination, Big Brutus. And you know what? I feel like story time. So we're going to talk about cinnamon rolls and sainthood. All right, so our story, let me set a little foundation here. So I got a small machine shop that I work in, and there's this dude named Bryce, has everybody's birthday on little magnetic strips in his work area, mine included, and he's been known to buy donuts for people. Although he's never bought me donuts, I had to buy my own. And this is for our birthdays, right? So that kind of sets the stage for what I'm about ready to talk about here. So here we are, Tuesday. We get back from the holiday, and I noticed on that little magnetic strip that this Mexican dude that works there, he's a young kid. He's like 21 now. His name is Javi, and his birthday's on the 6th. I said, hey, yo, Javi. Because he and I work next to each other. Different machines, but we work side by side for the most part. And I said, yo, Javi, you going to get donuts for your birthday? He says, I don't know. I says, I think you ought to. I said, I think I want donuts on Friday. I said, I think everybody wants donuts on Friday. And about that time, Bryce comes around the corner. I said, yo, Bryce, get Javi donuts on Friday. I said, I want donuts on Friday. It's his birthday. That's a good day to get donuts. And Bryce looked stunned, like shell-shocked. I think I dropped it on him. I didn't ask him to buy donuts. It was more of a directive. And I don't think he took it well, but, you know, he's not going to be just a blatant jerk about it. He's just kind of like, I don't know. I'm like, Javi, give him a couple of bucks. He'll get donuts. And at this point, Bryce is starting to feel pressure, I think. Wow, that's kind of cool. Anyway, and so I said, come on, Bryce, you always say it's no big deal for you to get donuts. You always say that all you got to do is just drive into the donut shop, get the donuts, and leave. It's like you don't even have to leave off your regular travel path. You don't have to take any side streets. It's just right there. He says, that is true. I do say that a lot. I'm like, well, there you go. Javi, give him a couple of bucks and he'll get the donuts. Pretty sure of it. And then Bryce says, well, you know, let's go. We got a week to talk about it. Let me know what you want to do. So everybody kind of scatters and goes to work at that point. And honestly, I don't think anything more about it. But Thursday comes around, and specifically second break on Thursday afternoon, where Bryce and I are sitting with yet another companion named Thane. We're all three old guys that sit together, but myself at 57 am like the youngest of the old guys. So anyway, Bryce apparently is feeling a little salty that day. Our boss had moved him to a different machine, and Bryce had already been caught like 3 or 4 times talking to Thane, and I guess he was a little upset that Bob kept giving him the evil eye. I don't know why. We all know that, you know, Bob will allow some talking, but you can't just take advantage of it. Anyway, Bryce is feeling a little salty. And so Thane somehow in the conversation brings up to Bryce, says, yo, you gonna get donuts tomorrow? And Bryce is like, no, I ain't doing it. And I'm like, what? Come on. You get donuts for everybody. Get donuts for Javi. He's like, I ain't doing it. I don't want to get donuts for Javi. I'm like, why? What Javi do to you? Javi's never done nothing to you. He's like, he's like, I don't need a reason. I just don't feel like getting donuts tomorrow. I'm like, come on, man. It's right. It's on your way to work. You don't have to do anything. Like a 2-minute stop. He's like, I don't want to do it. So Bryce and I are arguing about this. Thane jumps in and says, come on, Bryce, quit being rude. You're being rude. Just get the donuts. And Bryce is just adamant. He's not going to get the donuts, right? So Thane says, tell you what I'll do. I'll buy the donuts. And he pulls out a 20 and tries to give it to Bryce. Now things start getting really ridiculous because Bryce pulls back like Thane is trying to hand him a live hand grenade. and he's like, I don't want the money. I'm not taking it. You can't make me do this. I don't want to get the donuts. And Thane's like, quit being rude. Just go get the donuts. He's like, it's no time. It's no money. Just walk in and get them. And he, no matter how we argue with Bryce, he just isn't going to get the donuts. Thane keeps trying to shove this 20 closer and closer to him, like literally physically puts it on his leg, and Bryce still isn't taking it. In fact, he threatens to take it to Oklahoma. If he does take it, he says he's going to take it to Oklahoma and put it in the slot machines. I'm like, oh my gosh. And finally I say, you know what, Thane? Here's what it is. I said, Bryce is mad at Bob, which is our boss, for getting after him about talking, and he can't do nothing to Bob back, so he's just going to be a jerk today. And Bryce says, that's exactly right. I am petty. I'm like, so what? For your birthday, we're going to get you a shirt that says proud to be petty or unashamedly petty. And he says, I would wear it. I'm like, oh my goodness. I said, finally, Thane, let me have the 20. I'll see what I can do. So here was my plan. There's a grocery store in the town where we all work. And I was just going to go into that grocery store. I have like a 15-minute window from the time I get to the town, get into that grocery store, get out, and still make it to work on time. Because, of when they open versus when I got to start work. So I've seen daylight donuts in there before, but I don't know if they're fresh. I don't know when they get delivered, stuff like that. I'm just kind of winging it. So that's my plan, is I'm just going to get in there, see what kind of donuts they got, and get out. And that is a little bit more out of my way than it is for Bryce. But Bryce has already stomped his foot to the ground and said he's not doing it. Nothing we can do to make him to do it. So this is where we're at. So I get home Thursday night, and my wife asks me, says, hey, how was your day? And I said, well, it's a pretty normal day except for this conversation. And so I fill her in on all the conversation, including the Tuesday morning conversation that got all this started. And she says, you know what? I don't know why Bryce is being a booger snot. we're both working on our language, even in private with just ourselves. So she says, I don't know why Bryce is being a booger snot, but I'm going to make Javi some cinnamon rolls, and he's going to have a special birthday. Now keep in mind, she has not met any of these people, but she knows an injustice when she sees one. She knows when someone is just being a punk, and she knows how to step in that gap and, kind of soothe things over. So I don't know if she stayed up all night or she just got up before me, but I suspect she stayed up all night. So I get up 5:30 in the morning, and the house smells like fresh made cinnamon rolls. My goodness, it smells so good. And they're not even quite done baking yet. And she's putting the finishing mix together for her frosting, because she makes her own frosting too, right? It's a cream cheese frosting, and it's got a little dab of lemon in there to give it just a little bit of a pop. And oh, it is so good, so good. In fact, little side story here, step aside for a second. A few weeks back, I went to a breakfast with some of these same guys, and she wanted me to bring some cinnamon rolls for them. I argued, but I lost. And so I handed out 3 cinnamon rolls. 2 guys said they absolutely loved them. The 3rd guy told me to tell my wife if she ever got tired of me, he would step up to the plate. So I went back, told my wife, I said, yeah, you got 2 appreciative people and 1 guy that sends a marriage proposal. That's how good her cinnamon rolls are. Okay, back to the current story. So, literally straight out of the oven and into my car. Oh, look at that river. Go the cinnamon rolls. I haul my keister down to work. I've got a bag of frosting because the cinnamon rolls are still too hot to put frosting on. Frosting would just melt everywhere. I got a bag of frosting, a tray of cinnamon rolls, and I'm headed down the highway, and my car is just smelling oh so good. I get to that store, and because I said I would buy donuts, I get to that store, get donuts, find out they're day old, that they don't get the fresh donuts till 8 a.m. Well, too bad, so sad. You get fresh cinnamon rolls, but day old donuts. So, get to work, and immediately, as I'm loading everything to my work area, where I'm getting ready to set up a small table, I've got people's attention, like all over the place. A couple of the guys know what these cinnamon rolls are, because they were people that I had breakfast with a few weeks back. So I get to Javi, and I give Javi this small, I forgot to mention, I give Javi this small birthday card. This is what I forgot to mention. My wife made him a little handmade birthday card, balloons and a little horn and a birthday cake sticker, all that kind of stuff. And this kid's face lit up like he just got the best gift ever. I mean, he was so happy. And I showed him, I said, okay, I got the day old donuts for your birthday, but I got something better. I said, I got these cinnamon rolls that my wife made just for you. And so he's like, you know, I've only had cinnamon rolls one other time before. And I'm like, oh, you are going to love these. Trust me. I said, tell you what, before I put the frosting on, stick out your finger, and I put a little dab of frosting, because now I've got it in a bag. I got the corner on the bag so I can dribble it onto the cinnamon rolls. And I say, tell you what, have a little bit of this frosting. Tell me what you think of it before I put it all over the rolls. And so I put a little bit on his finger. He put it in his mouth, and I thought he was going to die right on the spot, because I mean, it's like his knees got weak. He closed his eyes, and this huge smile hit his face. He's like, he loved it. He's like, that's so good. I said, all right. So I started putting the frosting on the cinnamon rolls. After 35 minutes, they'd cooled down enough to where it wouldn't absolutely just turn the frosting to liquid. And, you know, I put them out. So over the course of the day now, people are getting the donuts, they're getting the cinnamon rolls. I think a couple of people double dipped on the cinnamon rolls. Golly, it's pretty out here. And at the end of the day, there's only 2 cinnamon rolls left, no donuts. I tell Javi, you know, those cinnamon rolls are his, take those home. And Thane comes back to me and says, hey, you've been nominated for Sainthood. What? I'm like, what? You know, he's like, everybody loved those cinnamon rolls. I'm like, yeah, but I didn't make them. My wife made them. She's the saint. I'm just the delivery boy. And he says, yeah, well, they don't know her. They know you, so you get to... But, and I did message my wife and tell her that she was nominated for Sainthood because, you know, she made them. She's the cook. But nonetheless, they insisted on nominating me for Sainthood. So I took a step back and I tried to rationalize my sainthood in all this. And here's what I came up with. I didn't eat them. I didn't eat them when they were in my car, making everything smell delicious. The cinnamon rolls made it to work unmolested. There's my sainthood. Anyway, that's my story. There's a little filler story to just kind of fill in some dead time while I'm finishing my journey to Big Brutus. Hope you liked it. Just a day at work, that's all.